The Coelophysis is a perfect representation of the early theropods. An opportunistic carnivore, a nimble and tireless threat, with a jaw full of sharp, serrated teeth.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. The species field guide for the Coelophysis is the most exciting we've had so far. So hello everyone, let's talk about that. Right off the bat, we see that this species field guide is going to give us something new. The new desert biome. It looks absolutely gorgeous. It's convincingly dry, I'd say, but still with a lot of variety in the foliage, and we'll talk about the foliage a little later. Because first, the star of the show, the goat is back! We can all sleep peacefully now. I do still hope that we'll get maybe the classic cow feeder as well. That might be a little bit morbid, but I'm still keeping my fingers crossed for that. The actual star of the show is the Coelophysis, and she looks fantastic. Throughout the clip, we see 3 different body colors, but all with the same pattern and the same pattern color. In case you missed it in last Saturday's weekly news update, the skin system works in a way that we can pick a pattern, the color for the markings of that pattern, and the overall body color. So this would be like pattern 2, let's say, with a stripe along the flank, and they've made that pattern color yellow in this case, or gold if they want to be fancy about it, and the body color is brown. Now I call this pattern 2 because it is different from the Coelophysis that we've seen in screenshots so far. And I would refer to that as pattern 1 or the null pattern, because there isn't really a pattern going on, it's more 2 different shades. Now what I am thinking / hoping is the case here is that we can pick the top and bottom color independently from one another. So for example, it could have also been gray with a yellow underbelly. But back to the species field guide, let's talk about the behaviors we're seeing and the behavior we are not seeing. First off, the brown one is doing a grooming behavior similar to the Homalocephali in the current game. I'm not sure if small carnivores in the current game display this behavior as well. I don't think so, but I wouldn't be surprised if I was wrong. Let me know in a comment down below. Do small carnivores do any sort of grooming in Jurassic World Evolution 1? If it's groundbreaking information, I will pin it for the people. The other behavior we're seeing is this social interaction that I'm absolutely blown away by. It's so lifelike, the way they interact with each other, the way they react to each other, and the way the grey one just keeps looking at the green one as it walks away, as if she doesn't completely trust the other. Like, you know, I got my eye on you, sister. I really like that. It's something so small, but I thought this was really, really exciting. The most exciting, actually, because it felt like I was looking at an actual animal, not just a beautiful digital model of an animal. And the only other time that I felt that was with the Amargasaurus exit animation, but that's an exit animation. That's not really representative for what happens in the exhibit, and this is. So it was a beautiful small behavior to see. Third and final behavior we see is hunting. And I will right away point out which behavior we don't see and won't see: pack hunting. It is stated in the forum article for the Coelophysis that, unfortunately, they do not pack hunt, although they are social with each other. They do like a social group of their own kind. It's a bit of a shame, but considering what an early theropod it is, I don't find it too off-putting. It sort of makes sense that it's so super primal that it would lack the intelligence necessary to coordinate an attack. But it does leave me wondering which dinosaurs other than raptors will pack hunt. So while we see hunting in the species field guide, we have to wait a little bit longer to see pack hunting in action. The hunt itself is pretty reminiscent of what we're familiar with, the old pounce and bite. The goat does seem to be running at full speed as it's taken down, which I'm assuming means what they've already said in so many words, that there isn't that awkward pause and wait before a kill happens where that you have to wait to sync up for a preset animation to happen. I think maybe the goat was just running along, living its life, and then bam, no more life. Other information from the forum article about the Coelophysis is that they rely on their speed and agility to catch prey and avoid predators. I'm really curious to see that in action. If, for example, when a lumbering T-Rex tries to come after it, it might be able to dodge the bites at least a couple of times. It does say that due to its small size, it doesn't cohabitate well with other carnivorous dinosaurs. It doesn't specify larger carnivorous dinosaurs, so I'm assuming that even other small carnivores won't make good roomies for the Coelophysis. Despite its size, it does need a lot of open space to run around, which we can actually see in the Species Field Guide, because that exhibit is absolutely massive. It's so big that it makes me think there has to be something else in there as well, and we'll talk about what that might be in like a minute. Now, aside from the open space, they do need a bit of forest. It is stated in the forum article, with access to water, open space, a bit of forest, and plenty of friends, your Coelophysis should thrive and stay relatively calm. Sounds good. Now, it can't live with other carnivores, but it is stated that it can live with herbivores, because it won't go after herbivores that are bigger than itself. So I think this exhibit is also the home of some herbivores, possibly even a sauropod, because we see this cycad in the background, the tall kind of cycad that Brachiosaurus and other sauropods prefer to eat from, according to the forum article on the Brachiosaurus. There's not a lot of forest going on in this exhibit, which we have come to associate with sauropods in the game, but the sequel might switch things up and give us a sauropod with really, really low forest needs. And I think that would be pretty cool to see a giant sauropod wandering through such a barren landscape, which it's all taking me back to walking with dinosaurs and that scene with the Diplodocus in the desert and the Allosaurus converging upon them. Sorry, nostalgia happens. Overall, there's a pretty nice variation in foliage going on. We also have a bunch of cacti in the background over here, and we have two different colors of rocks for my fellow Dwayne Johnson fans. We have a reddish rock and a pale sandy type of rock. Now, if you will direct your attention to this mound of earth over here, I'm pretty sure that is in the buildable area, and this might be representative of the kind of terrain manipulation we can do. It looks a little bit steeper than what is possible with vanilla Jurassic World Evolution 1. It's not like epic cliffs, it's not waterfalls, but I guess so far what they said is true. It's a little bit better than the terrain tools from Jurassic World Evolution 1. The textures on it are pretty good as well. It looks like this biome has maybe 5 terrain paints, namely the reddish rock that we see on the mountain in the background, which I'm assuming we'll be able to have in our toolkit as well. We have the slightly greenish, grassy texture, but still very dry, of course. We have pale sandy terrain that we can see on the mound, but also in the foreground. And we also have this darker rock sort of painted throughout. And finally, I think this cracked rock texture might be a 5th terrain pattern. That is all I was able to discern from the Coelophysis Species Field Guide. If you enjoyed this analysis, leave a like and subscribe for more. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, enjoy the anticipation.